right, so this is a layout that I did before. I think I was doing a sketch, one of the virtual crop sketches. And so I did this, and I still have a whole bunch of other photos to go with this. So I'm going to try and figure out another layout. I only want to do two-page spreads. I don't want to have, you know, multiple pages of the same event, because I think it's really unnecessary. And it just gets too repetitive, and then the pictures seem boring because it seems like they're all the same. I also, on top of this, I've got a peekaboo pocket. You can see this underneath. Whoop. So this will go over the top, and then this is a peekaboo pocket. So that's a way that I can get more photos in. So anyways, I wanted to show those. So I've got a whole stack of other photos from this day, and I already kind of weeded it out when I printed them to some of my favorites. A lot of times I will print off a whole bunch more, just because I don't know, you know, I like to make that, I know it's wasteful a lot of times, but I want to have choices when I'm actually doing a layout. And sometimes I will do like the same scene in both, portrait and landscape mode too, so I have more options. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to figure out what photos out of these that I'm going to use. So what I'll do first, I'm going to get these out of the way a little bit, and then I'm kind of going to group them in like photos, like scenes. So see here, these are ones where they're by the water. Here they are too, but these ones are really similar. Here are ones where I love this one. I've got to include that. She was a wild child, and she was swinging this wood around and being silly. But so these ones here are all where she's on his shoulders. So I'm going to put those all together. And this one, see, is a landscape. So I'm going to keep that together. Here's some more by the water. Here's a real cute one of just her and Dad. Here's one where they're by the water. Here's one in the back of her head. Here's another one where she's on his shoulders. See, those two are really similar. So I think for sure I like this one. There's no other one like that. I'll keep that. And there's no other one like this, so I'm going to keep that for now. So I'll put those there. There's nothing on the back of her head. Not that I will use all of those. Out of these 3, 4. Okay, so these ones are really alike. These two especially. So which one do I like more? I think I can see her smiling a little bit more on that, so I'll put that one there. I'll put this aside. Then I decide between these two. I really like this one because you can see him smiling and looking at me. So I'll just put that underneath in case I need that one. And then this one's really cute too. So I really haven't cut this down much yet, but I will. All right, and that one's cute because he's pointing at something far off. This one is she's sitting on his lap, kind of. And then there's this one. Oh, this is so hard. I think I am going to stick with this one for now. I'll put these over here. And then let me do this. And then I've got, I like this one because she's smiling. If I'm going to get these two, I like this one better because he's smiling. So I'm going to put that aside, even though that's a great picture. This one is actually very close to this one. Oh, gosh. They're both very good. Oh, it's so hard to decide. I love her face in both. I like his smile a little better here, but you can't, his eye is closed, so I think I'm going to go with that one. And then with these ones, let's see. Let's move those aside. Okay, that one's cute, but it's a little far away. I love this one. I'm not going to get rid of that one. And then with these, this one's cute, but it's not great. This one's kind of far away. I like that it's the full body, but it's kind of far away. And I really like this one here. I wish it was a little lighter. See, the lighting is better in these ones, but they're just not as good of pictures. So, and that one's kind of far away. This is kind of the same. I'm going to put that over there. That one's not really that great. I really like this. This one could be cut down, you know, to 4x4s. So I'm going to keep this one in here just because I could still use it if I needed extra. All right, so I'm going to put these ones aside. And what's really nice is I don't feel as bad about printing these off and not using them, because I just give these to my granddaughter Parker, and because she likes the scrapbook too. So now she's got all these pictures that she can use in her own scrapbook. So I'll put those aside. So now what I'm going to do, all the ones that I picked are nothing like this, so I don't have to worry about repeating those. And with these, remember I've got all these with her on top, although they're by the water, so I probably don't need quite as many. I think one page is going to be them down by the water. I'll cut that down. These are going to go there. And then this can go on either page. And then with these, I think it's going to be this one. And then this one, really funny with her personality. And this close up. Because none of them are really like this one here. And they're kind of far apart. So I probably only need a couple of these. So let me get this out of the way. And then now what I do is I decide what I'm going to, how I'm going to lay this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some white cardstock. Or I think what I'm going to do, since I'm using the Full of Wonder pack, with that, it shows you right here what different colors you can use. And so I think for the base page, because I really don't want to use up a lot of these really pretty colors and cover them full of pictures, I think I'm going to use a base color. So let me think about that for a sec. I actually realized that I do not have purple ice, and what I did, what I used in the other layout was actually lilac shimmer, which I really like. It would make the two-page layouts really connect a lot. But I also realized that I forgot that we have this new Stardust White. And I don't know if you can see it in the photos, but can you see that there's little specks of color? It's really pretty. There's like some greens and blues and reds. And I think that that might be really pretty too with some of these papers. You know, it goes really well. Aren't they just gorgeous? Oh, it's this kind of paper that I hate to cut up because it's so pretty and I hate to use it, but that's so silly because that's what it's meant to be, is to be used. So what I normally will do is I've figured out what photos I want to use. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to kind of mess around and start laying them out. What I'll do is I'm just going to put, just for an idea, is I'll just go like this, just to give myself some ideas. How many I'm going to use? I'm just using this as just to give me what the size of the pages are. I'm not going to use these. These are just to help me lay this out, to figure out what I have for photos, how many I'm going to use, and what kind of layout I'm going to have. And then I can go ahead and figure out the rest. So I've got 2 there. Let's see if I've got any more landscape or portrait. I've got another portrait and I've got another portrait. That one would probably be smaller. So I could put those along the side. And then how many more do I have here? So I'm going to cut down one of those, I think. This, I just have to have that grumpy face because that's so cute. This one will definitely be a 4x6. This one could probably be cut down to a 4x4. And even that one could be cut down. This one could probably be a 4x4. This one could be a 4x4 if I wanted to do, you know, 3 4x4s going down here. I would have to cut them down a little bit. So let's see. I'm going to mess around a little bit off camera so this doesn't get to be too long, and then I will come back and let you know what I figured out. All right, so I kind of switched it around a little bit. I think I'm going to keep those here. And with these, they do not have to be the 4x6s because, you know, we don't really need to see all that water, everything. So this one, I think I'm going to cut to 4x4. So I'll get that one in, cut it to 4x4. I might move this over a little bit so he's more centered. All right, and then with these other ones, if I do 4x4, then they're going to totally butt up next to each other like this, and I don't necessarily want to do that. So I think with these, I'm going to start with 4x3.5. Or how about 3 3/4 first, and then I'll see how that lines up. And then if I need to, I can cut them down a little bit farther. I want to get that whole circle in there. So maybe I'll cut off a little bit on this side first and then see what I think. All right, so 4x3 3/4, I said. Okay, and so if I do that, the other thing I always think of is, do you see how they're pointed towards this way? So it makes sense to have them on the edge of the paper looking in instead of going here. All right, that's just me. And then this one, they're kind of pointed that way, you know what I mean? So if I go like that, there's not a whole lot left in the middle. I kind of want a little bit more, or a border between, I'm thinking. So I'm going to cut these down to 3.5. Let's cut this a little bit more. I may even do more than that. 3.5. And they don't actually have to all be the same. Honestly, they don't have to be the same width. They really don't. All right, so I really like that. And then these I'm going to leave for a minute. And then over here, I am going to, this one's going to stay, of course. I threw a piece of paper under here that just because I had that, just to see if maybe I'd use that. I'm going to leave this one pretty close to this size. I might cut it down just a tad bit. Maybe a little bit off the top. I always hate when, you know, sometimes you just really, whoops, oh, I wasn't quite straight. You know, think about the composition when you're taking the picture, and then so I always think, oh, why am I cutting that down? I had it perfect before. Here I'm gonna, I could probably cut down that much, maybe, and that still be a good photo. Let me see. Or do I have another one that, you know, I could do a 4x4 there. If I did that, that would kind of go along with continuing these sides. But really the important part is her just being goofy right there. I think I'm going to do a 4x4. Let's see if I measure that. That's about to there. Yeah, all right, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Because really that's the important part of the photo. And I'm probably going to bring these in just a tad bit. In case I use this here, I'll have a little bit more room. Let's see. If I want to use that piece. Well, I'll wait until I decide. All right, so I got that. Get this out of the way. This is all garbage. All right, another thing is I really want to make sure that I have enough for some kind of journaling box. So if I look at the journaling boxes that I have ahead of time, this is my fave, Total Bliss, Epic Adventures, whoops. Remember This. This is a good one. And I love how they have them both landscape and then portrait. This happened. I would have to mat that if I use that. Life is picturesque. Life is picturesque. Everyday details. This might be a good one because this is a everyday. This is true story. These are just a plain old everyday little moments. That's a cute one too. If I use that, and then there's also some really cool where I could just write, use one of these too, and then use one of the embellishments that kind of says something that I want it to say, either the embellishments or some of the really great stickers. So this album, this is for my granddaughter album, my grandchildren album. So I'll kind of be the narrator. So if I say lucky me, that could be talking about both my son and my granddaughter. Story of today, living my best life, here and now, together, little joys. My heart is all aflutter. Moments, together is really cute. Little joys, here and now. Those would be really cute. So I might do that instead. So I'll think of that. Let's see. If I do this here, what could I do over... I could do this, and then I could somehow fit this in here, little moments. I could cut those down. That would look nice too, wouldn't it? I kind of like that. It's really, nice and simple. I could pull in this where I've got some of this really pretty paper there, and I could put another strip here. I really like that. All right, I think I'm going to go with that. Let me think about this for just 1 second. All right, so as much as I want that on top, I'm thinking these can be cut down. So then maybe I would put this one here, and then I would cut these down and then run a strip along there. So let's see. What can I cut this one down to? Oh, that could be a 4.5. So let's try that 4.5. Yeah, I think that would be cute. 4.5. We'll try it that way. Whoop. We'll do this one too. Kind of figure 4.5 is going to end up there. And this totally could be smaller, right? 4.5, maybe cut these down to, let's see, what do I have there? By 3.5, if I cut that down, would that be, yeah, 3.5. There's one, this is 3.5. Could I get this one down that far? I could do this one down to 3.5. That would make more sense. So I'm just... Oh, wait, no. 4 by 3.5. That makes sense. Okay. Let's try that. What would that look like? This one here, this one. I'm going to get this out of the way. I'll probably do a mat around there. So to get that idea, I can take one of these. I would probably do purple. Let's find a good purple one. Purple, purple, purple. There they are, the purples. This is a good one. I'm losing a journaling mat, but that's okay because I have a lot. So this is what's hard with putting, when you put a mat around, this is kind of makes his face look more purple. You know what I mean? So I'm going to try all the other choices to see which looks best with the photo. Oh, that green. I don't know. I think the purple looks better. There's green. There's purple. Here's dark blue. That looks good. Here's light blue. Light blue's too light, I think. What's the other colors do we have? Light purple. I do not like that. I think I like the purple or the blue. I like the blue. All right. Oh, did I not look at that green? I love that green. Because green's my favorite color. I like this. All right, so we're going to do that. And then those would be here. I would probably do a strip of something there. If I do these, let's see, get this out of the way. I end up making such a mess that I got to kind of clean it up. All right, so these are going to go across here. I'm pretty sure I really like this in the bottom. So I'm going to narrow these up a little bit. Crop them just a little bit. And you know what? They don't have to be exactly the same size on both sides. They really don't. That's just kind of a perfectionist thing that I do. Especially in this where I want there to be more of a gap between them. So that whatever I put underneath, which is probably going to be a color, will show through. Move, move, move. Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit more off of this one. That's just his elbow. Oh yeah, sweet, I can take more off this one. I might as well do them the same. This is 3.5. Might as well do this 3.5. There, and like I said, I'm going to put this one on this side because they're looking in. There, now whatever I put underneath, you'll see. I kind of want, you know, because this paper is so beautiful, I want that showing here. So, depending on what I choose to put on the top here, I'll probably switch this one too. Let's see how wide this is. No, that wouldn't really do it. I was looking at one of these. They're so pretty that I just hate to cut them, but that's silly because that's the whole point of having this paper is to use it, right? So if I don't use it, then it's kind of wasted, right? So if I do this, I think of that going down to there. And then these, of course, would be up to about there. That's really pretty, isn't it? And then that would probably be a little bit higher. And then I would do a different color under here. I'm out of Island Water. I cannot believe it's such a popular color that I can't believe that I'm out of it. But I'm going to see, I've got this Peacock Blue, which is from long ago. We don't have any anymore. I want to see what that would look like. So now that would be really pretty, wouldn't it? I like that. I think that looks so good. And then I could use the other piece of that. Instead of this, I could use that over here. So I'm thinking if that is probably six inches, right? So if I can see where that is right there, it's probably a little less than 6. It'd be 5.5. And 6 would be way out to here. I don't think I need it to be that big, that wide. If I do 5.5, and if this is at 5.5, that's there. Let's see, that would mean that this would be here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 pieces at 5.5. If I have it go here, which end do I want? I think this is the part that I don't really want. So if I do 5.5, it'll be an inch off going this way or this way. I think I'll do 5.5 and 5.5. Okay. So let's do this. 2 pieces of 5.5 by 5.5. So this is the first one. And there is the second one. And then I'll have a little piece left that's not wasted and I can use for something else. Like even a little strip where they meet would be nice. So I got to decide which one I want meeting up against here. Do I want that to meet up or do I want it like this? It's probably going to be the same over there. I think I like that one. So it's going to go like that. What I really should do now is I think what I'm going to do is, since this is going to go on to white pages, I'm going to grab those really quick. There, now I can just lay them right out on the white pages instead of having to have a cardstock back. I mean, otherwise I could, like I did with these ones here, I did it on that lilac shimmer and just use that as the base. I don't mind doing that sometimes, but sometimes it's really wasteful, especially when I'm going to be covering up the whole entire thing. It doesn't make sense to do that. So, all right, with this one, I've got this over here. I'm going to put the more colorful side along here because we're going to see more of that. And then, how did I have that? I had this one there. And then that funny one where she was about to hit him in the head. And then what did I have? I had this over here. Oh, look at that, how that 5.5 worked out perfect. Oh, that was just me not thinking, but how did that go? This was the extra. Let's see, now I've got to remember, this one was here, and there was one where she was on top of his head. It was this one, I think. Oh, now I messed my whole thing up. Okay, hang on. How did I have this? I had this one looking in. Were these the ones I had there? No, I had them like this. Right? So where did that piece go? That was here. Let me get this back on the... There you go, centered so you can see the whole thing. There's so many times that I've done videos and then I realize that I'm doing stuff off screen, which is probably annoying for people because, you know, the whole point of these is to show you how to do some of these things. And then if you can't see them, it's kind of silly. Oh, I wish that wasn't just plain white there. All right, and so then this one, if that's 5.5, then this is going to be 6.5, I believe. Let's just double check. Yep, 6.5. So let's cut this 6.5. And it makes sense to do this over here, correct? Does that make sense? Because then we're going to be the same. You know, it's going to tie it all together because we've got this strip here that's the same. And then if I do the same cardstock, I'll probably have to do another piece if I do this one at 6.5. Or I've got another idea so that we just use one piece of cardstock here. I'll see what it looks like. If I put this one here, right, and then I get these guys back in here. That one doesn't really stand out anymore, does it? I can do a real small, real thin mat underneath that. Let's see what this would look like. if I left that there, right? And then I move this like this, put this kind of in the middle. Figure that in the middle. I'll figure out exactly where that middle is in a minute. I think of that. I mean, it certainly isn't a very exciting layout, but it's, you know, really nice and simple. And sometimes that's really nice to do instead of just like overthinking everything. You know, a lot of times it's just nice just to get get it all done and into an album. Not every layout has to be a masterpiece. And, you know, some people don't even like that. Some people just want it just about the pictures, which really, that's what it really is about, isn't it? I mean, it's just about getting these photos in your albums and also being able to be, so people can look at them and you can enjoy them, and also being creative. I love to be creative. And I'm not done with this yet, so there's more that I can do. And I probably will be doing. All right, so I'm going to put this down because a lot of times I sit and I just look it over and over and over again and then spend so much time trying to make decisions. And then when I look at it at the end, I'm like, oh, well, it was really kind of just the way I was going to do it in the first place. And why did I spend all that extra time for nothing? Now we're going to have a little bit of a spot line there. So I think I'd rather just make sure that I butt that up. And then, yep, it still looks good on the top. Okay. All right, so that's there. I keep moving these and messing myself up. Okay. Okay, I really think that I'm probably going to cut this down just a little bit. Do a 4x6 matte in a dark purple. Let me see if I can find some. Okay, eggplant. Eggplant is what goes good with this. So, and this is probably a 4x6, exactly. Yep, so I'm just going to cut a 4x6 piece. All right, so 4. Put that aside by 6. Ooh, I'm going to use my smaller photo trimmer because then I don't have to pull that arm out. Okay, so I know that that's what size that is. So I'm just going to take a little bit off each side here. Just so you can just barely see that photo mat, but it'll just help just enough to pop it off of that real pretty peacock blue. All right, if you look at that. I want to do it just a smaller. I didn't. Oh, it must have been a little bit wider on the other side. So let's do that some more. Little bit here and there. Okay, let's see. Ah, perfect. That looks so nice. Oh, I hate to cover this one up. I love that everything is double-sided, but I also hate it sometimes too because if I love both sides, it's such a dilemma about which one I cover up. A lot of times in the collections, I'll end up buying like 2 sets of paper instead of just the one because I love the paper so much and I don't want to use it all up. And I also find that there are so many stickers and embellishments and mats that I can easily use all the extra paper. Look at how much nicer that looks. You know, for once, I think I'm just going to commit to this part right here because I really, really like it. There's no reason to do anything different. That's huge for me because I can sit and stare at a layout for hours sometimes. And then, you know, try to rethink everything before I can make a decision. And you know what? Today I'm just going to make a decision because I really, really, really like this. I should be using the regular tape runner just to commit to that and say, hey, I'm doing it. All right. Okay, and I think I'm going to leave these now because I might just want to do something a little bit more there. Okay, so I know that I like this over here, so I'm going to go ahead and put this down. I always like to use the repositionable when I put paper onto the page, just in case I change my mind. And on one, especially on black pages. Because I don't know what it is about the black pages. It's really hard to get paper back up if you change your mind. So if you use the repositionable, you still can move that right away. So I'm going to leave this open because this is nice and light here, so I'll be able to write something funny about her pretending she's slugging him in the head. I do know that I want to keep this in the blue, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that on there. Okay, and then let's see, I'm still in the frame. All right, before I do any of this, I'm just going to keep this in the middle. I think I really like that, and even having some space there. I'm going to get out my mats. Whoops, see. If I can get my drawer closed again. Here, I'll move that. This is really nice when you're trying to find exactly the middle, you know, because I want that definitely in the middle. So let me get my mats down with the, with the measurements on the side. So if I lay these out right where they belong, I'm just going to put this along here because I'm concerned about the 6 here, not the, if this is the middle. All right, so let's put this here. So, get these back over here. I just am not ready to commit to that teal going down yet. But this, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. So I know that that's the middle. This would go here. Oh, that's over there. Where's my other? Here we go. I will probably just butt these ones right up next to the... So that leaves a little bit around the edge. All right, let's do that. All right, what do I think? I think I really don't mind those white there. I really don't. So now, gosh, I love this. I could maybe, you know, I could maybe cut that in a circle. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to try cutting this one in a circle real quick and see if maybe I can add it on, because I think it's so cute. And if not, that will go in Parker's pile for her to do her own little scrapbooks. That's what's so great about it. Let's get the largest one, because I'm probably going to go on the inside. And what is it? Which color is it? I always forget which is going to be the closest and which is going to be the farthest. I know. I will look at my my guide here. If I want... I think I'm just going to do the blue, because then if I want to make a mat around it, I can still do that with the green. Yeah, I'll do the blue. So I'll get this one ready here. because I'll definitely want a mat around it so that it can pop off. If I lay it on top of another picture, it'll help separate the two. Okay, ready. Do you know what? These, I want to know how old these ones are here. These are over 20 years old and they still work and they're still sharp. The new ones swivel, but I don't really use these a lot. So for me, it doesn't make sense to buy new ones there. So if I do something like that, I could do a, what do you call it? A mat around it. Let's see. If I did, it would probably be a purple color, right? And I've got the purple here. Why did I have this purple out? Oh, for the other mat. Let's see. Okay, yep, I think I will do it in purple. So it was the, which one was it? It's going to be the green. And if I wanted a thicker border, since this kind of has a thicker border, I could do it in the red. But that might be... that would make more sense. Let's do the red. All right, so I'm going to go all the way to the corner. Oh, here's a trick. So if you want to, cut right here, I always like to not waste any paper. But so I try to go as close to the edge as I can. But what's kind of a cool trick is if you go in just a little bit farther and cut it, then you aren't wasting paper. Even more so because, let me show you. Let me cut this out. Get in the groove there. All right. Ooh, don't move. Don't move. There. I always try and give that a little move to make sure that it's cut all the way through. So I got that. I was a little off. That's okay. But the cool thing is that I left a little room here and here. So say I want to use this piece of paper for a mat later. Look at that. Ta-da! Because I left enough room. Just a neat little trick. All right. So if I go like this, that makes sense with, see how much more of a border this one is too. So I've got a little bit off there. If I just smooth it, because I kind of moved, but that happens sometimes. So anyways, I'm going to put that on there. Yeah, that size mat is good. All right, and then I can maybe, right there is where it's just noticeable. Gosh darn it. Okay, I'm going to put that more towards the bottom where people aren't going to be looking as much, so it won't be as noticeable. All right. All right, and who knows, I might put it right here, and that's where that's noticeable. I can't get away from that little mistake, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's just a small mistake. That might be really cute right there. We'll see. All right, so let's get this back here. Get these guys out of the way. Get these ones back. I like this. It's very simple. Now, before I can't get these, ouch, refold it up so I can put them back. There we go. Oh, come on, Nikki. There we go. There we go. Oh, I got to do the blue one too. All right, so now let me get out the embellishments and stickers. All right, so I was messing around a little bit more, and I tried a couple things. I matted this middle one here in white and this one in white. I haven't decided if I liked it enough yet, but I did decide that I don't like this white along there. So I could use this piece, but I want this all to be peacock blue. And the nice thing is I don't have to cover underneath this, right? Because there's no reason. So I figured out these pieces are going to be 6.5 by 3 3/4. So I can't use this piece, but it's a big enough piece that I can use it somewhere else later, right? So I'm going to get another peacock blue. I'm going to put this one away for now. And like I said, it has to be 6.5 inches wide. I'm just going to double check to make sure. Measure twice, cut once. Yep, 6.5. So I will get this out and cut this at 6.5. All right. So now we have 2 scraps of blue, peacock blue, which I will definitely use somewhere else. All right, and so this one here, I'm just going to double check. So that's 4.5. So 4.5 plus 3 3/4 and 3 3/4 is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.5, 12. Yes. All right, so it's 3 3/4 inch wide for these guys. So 3 3/4. I'm just going to do a smidget over just to be safe because they can definitely overlap. Gosh, I do that right. Yeah, okay. This way, okay. So then 3 3/4, okay. Smidge it over. That side is a little bit bent. Dinged up, so. Okay, please tell me I did this right. Let's see, we'll put that one there. This one here. And that one there. I'll butt it up over there. This one will go here, and this one will go here. Ta-da, yep, and it's a little bit long. So how I will do that is I'm going to use my regular tape runner. Line up the bottom, the peacock colors first. So hard, I got the white lines from the mat that are messing me up. Okay, and then this one here. Line this one up on the top. Ta-da! And then this one goes here. Oh yeah, I like this a lot better already. What? There, perfect. And then this one's going to go butted up. That'll be right in the middle. So then there's a little bit here and a little bit there. I'm just going to leave it there for a second. Okay, so then I got to decide if I like that white. Now that I did that, I think I do like that little white there. It just makes it pop out and makes this make a little bit more sense. Unless I did the purple. This is... So if any of you struggle to, make decisions on your pages, so do I. So do I. So I wish this was live so I could ask your opinions if you think that I should leave those white or if I should... All right, so this is what they look like. I'm just going to quick take this off because I did it with my repositionable so I can take it off easily. See, I do really like it without too. I really do. I'm such a matter. I love to mat photos because I think it really helps them pop. It just feels like it needs something here. Because I'm thinking of using this. This is going to be hard to put back if I don't use it, so I might be just committing to it. So isn't that cute? Because I really kind of want to tie in. You know, I had hearts here on the first page. I don't really want to put it on this one because I don't think it... I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. it would work in there perfectly, but I don't know if I want to do that. I kind of like this one. I'll just lay that there for a second. This little guy would be off of there. That is really cute, isn't it? Very cute. And then I could use these little flowers over here, or those little hearts. And then I could do that along the side. That is kind of cute, isn't it? Decisions. I think I have decided that I don't like the white behind there. I really don't. Here's some white here, here's some white here, and I can certainly add some more white with the stickers. So let me take this off. All right, since I have made this decision, I'm going to put these guys down. Lift them, lift them. And then look, these are the same size. So I can pretty much think about making sure that they line up that way. And then this one is the same size as this mat. And then this one goes like that. Can kind of eyeball where those are lining up. Okay, and then I'm going to put these ones down because I like those. Makes it really easy when they're butting up next to here. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I think that looks good. This one's the same, kind of eyeball it. I don't think anybody's going to be in here measuring to make sure it's exactly right. All right, I made my decision on these. Oh, I can put that down because I already have tape runner on it. Yeah, I think I'm going to pop these out with stickers. Still haven't decided on this, but I think I'm probably going to put it somewhere around here. Yeah, I think that's cute. I wanted it to kind of cover up that little bare spot, but I think this makes sense for now. That is so funny. Little things like this bother me. I should really be covering that all the way up. But then now this one's sticking out. So then maybe I go a little bit farther and I stay completely away from that corner. And then maybe I cover it up with a sticker. I don't know. Let's look at stickers and figure it out. So I can use that border there, which I think I really like. But then that leaves just one for the other one. And I think that that's okay. I think that that's okay. And then maybe over here I can use some of these black and white butterflies. I do want to think of what some sayings that I could put in here. Here and now, together and from the heart. That would be really good to do maybe 3 right here. Or here and now, little joys together. Let's see if I do this. This is a great job for my multi-purpose tool. I can go like this, and then I can kind of get an idea what they're going to look like. Let go of my finger. There. See, that would be really cute right there, wouldn't it? And then I could throw a, I love it. That's what I'm going to do. Here and now. Together and little joys. So cute. I can put some butterflies. First, really what I want to do is look to see what I have in the embellishments, because those are always, there's always quite a few in here. So this is my fave, Follow Your Heart, Feathers, Soar High, Little Moments, My Happy Place. There's butterflies. Remember on the first page we did Happy Little Moments, Epic Adventures. We did both of those. And then Love Beyond Measure and My Happy Place. So this is the first page. This is second page. Let's see. What else do we have in here? This is a cute one, a heart. I think I want to do the hearts here, and then I want to do something that goes with them. Look at how cute those are. I don't think I need any more words, you know, because I've got all this here, I've got this here. So I think I'm going to get rid of all of this. I think I am going to go with the hearts. Oh, I might have just been filming for a while that I didn't need to. But anyways, what I really struggle with a lot is stickers. I don't know why, and embellishments. I always seem to be messing around, trying to figure out stuff. But anyways, so I thought this Full of Wonder was really appropriate because of the fact that they're looking at stuff. Maybe if I go like that, because I always like to put them in threes. I put these there because I kind of like that. Picture Perfect I thought was perfect because she's being so silly. If I do this one here, I think it's nice to clump them together in like threes. So I think these two together. So let's just commit. Because they always look good when I'm done. And I sit and think about it over and over and over again. And I'm like, you know what? You didn't really need to do that because once you got them all down, they looked pretty good. So there's two. I'll do one more. Maybe even just a gem. Or one of these guys. Here's kind of a smaller one. Let's see what that would look like. Yeah, there's a cluster. Okay, I'm going to put one of these a little bit underneath the other. There. That looks good. I like to continue with the butterflies because I've got butterflies on the previous page. Let's see. I don't need moments in here. Again, I just need plain. Let's see what this would look like here. This would be pretty because it's... Yeah, one... And then maybe, let's see what a smaller one would look like. That one's cute. I like that. Do that on the repositionable, of course. And I place it so that it's not like awkward in the middle of what the white that's going to show. I like it like that. Or like that. I like that better. And then maybe a little jewel. Like a purple one. There. I do like this Picture Perfect because this is a perfect picture that I'm going to write about. Because I think it's so funny. Put that up a little bit higher so that I can write in here about what she's doing. And then I think I want to have another, balance this out. There's 3 different spots. Is there a bigger, no, I think it makes sense to use one of these. Different than that. I think this, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115 Yeah, that looks cute. All right, I like this page. And did I put that down? I found these cute little hearts that I must have been from the other layout that I think are really cute. Where did the other one go? Huh, maybe I don't have it. I guess it's okay to just have two up there. I think it's cute. All right, so I'm going to put this there. I think that's cute. And then that little guy. Okay, where in the world is that little teal heart? I want it to go up there. And I can't find it. There it is. Let's see. I don't know. I could just leave it just like that and it'll be fine, I think. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to see if maybe I could pull one of those little guys out and see what that would look like. What would that look like? Whoop. Or if that one went over a little bit like that. Let me just lay it there for a second, see. That's kind of cute. Does that look like a whatchamacallit anyways? I could do. See, this is how come it takes me so long. I don't need to do this. All right, I kind of think that I don't want it to look like I just sticker sneezed on everything, because sometimes I do that where you think like, I think like I've got to put way more stickers on than I need to. And I think that's what I'm starting to do right here, so I need to stop. And then get this out of here. I don't like that at all. Don't like it, don't like it. So I'm going to put that back. And I really like that. And you know, I think I really like that too. All right, commit and be done. Oh, darn it, I did the wrong one again. Boy, I'm really committing now because wherever I put this, it's staying. Because it's a, I used my regular tape runner. Do, 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 do. Okay, I like that too. Okay, guess what? I'm done. I like it. Now all I have to do is journal. I always do that later when I have time to just sit down and really think about it. And who knows, I might change something or I might not. But what's nice is that it's simple and it's all about the pictures and it's done. And that's even more important. I did this other layout probably a year ago maybe. So it's really nice to have this. This is the second page and this is the first set. And I think that they look really, really nice together. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope that wasn't that helped you kind of get an idea of how I really go through the whole process of trying to lay something out. And the most important thing is that it's done. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more pictures in my album. And that's what it's all about. That's important. So, yeah, if you like it, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe so that I can reach more people. All right, thanks, everybody. Have a great day.